Are you struggling to make sales without feeling like you have to compromise your values? As business owners, we all want to grow our revenue, but we also want to do it with integrity. Now, selling your products or services doesn't have to feel like selling your soul. All right, welcome to episode 49 of Talking Business with Ritz. Hello, everybody. My name is Ritzel Loredo Rectra, the owner of Mighty Chill Virtual Solutions. We specialize in digital content creation, social media management, admin and backend support, as well as process automation. At our core, we strive to boost your productivity and streamline your processes, allowing you to delegate with ease and achieve more. Our ultimate aim is to help your business thrive without the burden of overwhelm. So we are now streaming on my Facebook group and YouTube channel as well as my personal profile, which I'm going to check right now. All right, for those who are watching with us right now, kindly comment hashtag live. Or if you are catching us on replay, of course, kindly comment hashtag replay so we know that you've been in our space. All right, let's start the show. So in order to achieve success in business, it is crucial to seek out, individuals who possess skills and talents that we lack, as this enables us to learn from them and propel our business forward. So during each episode of our show, we'll provide you with valuable insights and actionable tips that you can use to achieve small wins and make progress towards success. Our goal is to inspire and motivate motivate you to, move forward on your journey towards success. Tune in weekly to receive your dose of inspiration and valuable takeaways. So, the main purpose of this show is to give back to the community of online entrepreneurs and to get to know the human behind the title before the offer. Okay, our show aims to give back to the community of online entrepreneurs to actually showcase the human side of entrepreneurship. So we believe in the importance of, building genuine connections and fostering a supportive community within the world of online entrepreneurs. Now, here is my question to you. Are you tired of feeling like a sleazy salesman when promoting your package? I am. So today, we are joined by a seasoned sales coach with years of experience helping entrepreneurs and business owners succeed in sales without compromising our values. So many of us have experienced the pressure to use pushy or unethical sales tactics in order to make a sale. But our special guest is here to share her expertise and guide us on how to sell in an authentic and effective way, whether you're a seasoned sales professional or just starting out. You won't want to miss this valuable insights our guest has to offer. So let's dive in. So in today's episode, I'm gonna just show you that. Okay, let's just acknowledge one live viewer right now. Hello, Chad. Hello, Sir Chad. All right. So let me. Okay, so these are the three topics that our special guest will be sharing with us today or tonight. Right. Number one would be the sell without selling out. Tips for authentic package sales. Topic two would be the power of ethics in sales, which gonna boost your conversions by 2 to 3 times. And the third topic would be to conquer your sales anxiety with this game changing mindset for high ticket client signings. All right. Are you excited? I am. I am very excited. Okay. Now, um, so this is one of those episodes that you really do not want to miss out. So without much ado, here's our coach. Here is Coach Heather Smith. Uh, wait, my welcoming committee is not here, so I'm gonna just wait. All right, it's delayed. I'm gonna put her in. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. My welcoming committee are delayed. They're late.
It was worth the wait. That was fabulous.
Okay, where are we? All right. So we have Coach Heather here in episode 49 of Talking Business with Ritz. Yes. Welcome. Welcome, Heather.
Hi, thank you, Ritz. Thank you, Chad. We have feedback. I wonder if I can grab headphones. Are you hearing feedback?
No, not really.
Okay. Okay. No more. Okay.
Okay, are you ready? So, as stated at the start of the program, our goal is for the audience to become acquainted with the person behind the title before the offer.
Mhm.
So, yeah, sound is good, said Sir Chad. Okay, all right. So, could you tell us where are you located right now?
I am in the southern US in Georgia. I'm about an hour north of Atlanta.
Georgia. All right.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna try to ask you a series of questions. Are you ready? All
I'm
right.
ready. It's a little late here, so I may stumble over my words, but ask away.
All right. So, okay, Coach Heather, what is your favorite word and why?
Um I didn't ask before we started. Is this a PG show?
It's for business people, online business people. So you are safe.
Safe to express myself freely.
Sure, sure.
This is I mean, it is what it is. My favorite word is fuck.
Okay, and what is that?
Because it's outrageous and in your face and fun, and you can say fuck, fuckity, fuck, and you can say it when you're happy, you can say it when you're sad, you can say it when you're mad. It's just it's a good word.
Yeah.
Was not expecting that question, so I'm just like, oh, I gotta go with honesty here.
Talk about authenticity. Right. Okay. So that's that. I cannot stop smiling.
Well, that's good. That's humor is a very important thing in my life, and it's very important in my business. I can't work with people who take themselves too seriously. Like if they can't laugh at themselves, if they can't laugh, then we're not a match. So starting off with humor is good.
Yes, that's good. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is the highest. All right.
I'm
Wait,
like, oh my God, what's coming now?
wait. Let me just show this comment from our viewer right now. This is from Jeff from Manila. Oh, yes. Okay.
Focus is a good word. It is. It's just not my favorite.
So, anyway, going back to the question, on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is the highest, how weird are you or how unique are you?
Ooh, like a 13.
Good. Why is that? Every question has a, when you answer has a why at the end.
Yeah, no, so, I think really, really differently than, like, I feel like most of the population. I walk around most of the time kind of feeling like I'm possibly an alien. Not really, but, uh, yeah, so, I've just had a very interesting life. I dropped out of school and became a sex worker. I worked as a escort for 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
I do stand-up comedy. Um I'm just kind of an oddball. I actually wish that it was in me to be a little more mainstream because I feel like my life would be easier. But I've
Mm-hmm.
tried really hard in the past and it doesn't work. I just come across like even more weird. When I try to be really normal, I come across like really crazy weird. And so I've kind of given up.
Your your way of normal is actually sometimes weird for others,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like people, but I don't always understand them and they don't always understand me, and that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah. Everybody has their own shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. For sure.
All right. So, with your background and accomplishments as a sales coach,
Mhm.
is there anything that you think you need to improve on?
Oh, there's always something to be improved on. Like, I just finished with the second copy coach I've worked with in the last 6 months. I have a RTT hypnosis therapist that I'm working on for like trauma. I have another coach to help me reset my gut. Yeah, I'm always looking at how I can improve. And, with my business, I finally this week, I just threw up my hands and I'm like, I can do everything, but I'm gonna outsource. I'm over it. I wanna engage and play online and enjoy myself. Because what happens is I'm not as consistent as I could be. So like I'm great at sales, I'm great at building relationships, I'm decent at writing copy, but oh my God, just getting it all out all the time and just yeah. So that's where I really need to improve.
All right. Improve in delegating so you have more fun.
Yeah, so I can focus on the things that really light me up and the things that I'm really good at, you know? Um, yeah.
Okay. So, tell me something that's true that almost nobody agrees with you.
That almost nobody agrees with me.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay, so I'm trying to think. I have things, but it would get like personal, like of course not personal on you, but people would be upset. I'll tell
Mm-hmm.
you this. So in the US, everything is very, very polarized as far as our politics and people it, it seems, I don't think this is really true, but people seem that they're either very, very conservative or they're very, very liberal, and there's not a lot going on in between. And I'm a moderate, and so I kind of piss everybody off like wherever I go because I don't believe 100% in what one side says, and I don't believe in 100% what the other side says. So that makes for complications.
So, when you are in the middle, almost nobody wants to be in the middle.
Well, what's funny is when I talk to people who are conservatives, I find that they're a lot more toward the middle than they are the extreme. And the same thing with people who are liberal. But when they're traveling in packs, they
Mm-hmm.
they will not deviate from the party line because they don't want anybody to attack them in their friend group or their family or whatever. But on one to one, they tend to be more like centrists. But
Mm.
when they're in groups, look out.
They come in packs.
They come in packs. They come in packs. And yeah, I was doing my second stand up comedy show, and I was performing in an area of town that I knew to be like very, very liberal. And somebody on stage said something about like capitalism, and everybody in the room but me booed. And my dumb ass, like I was sitting on the front row, actually turned around to like look, and I was like, "Don't do that, they're gonna kill you."
I can just imagine.
And I'm not saying capitalism is perfect because it's not, but like, really?
All right. Okay. Now, are you ready for this
I don't know, Ritz.
question?
You're like the hard hitting interview person. Jeez. Okay.
All right. Now, between money or time, which one will you choose first?
Ooh. Mm. Mm. That's a
Take
hard
your
question. That's a
time.
really
Take
hard
your time.
question. Um, just because of the where I am in life right now, I would take
Mhm.
money. But ultimately, I want to have ridiculous sums of money so that I have more time. Right now, I'm having fun like playing in my business and growing my business and scaling it and all that stuff. But
Mhm.
I definitely don't want to be, I don't want to have every second of my day accounted for either. Again, I'm in the middle.
Right.
I want both.
Okay. A little bit of money, a little bit of time.
A lot of money and a lot of time. I'm greedy.
All right.
Capitalist.
Yes. Buy them off back. All right. So in one of my posts, I used the quote from 𝐤𝐤𝐥𝐥𝐢, which says, "Easy choices, hard life; hard choices, easy life." So would you say that you had to make, you had made hard choices in your life?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. One of the biggest like hard choices I've had to make, and I've had to make this type of choice over and over again. Um, are you somebody, you strike me as somebody who's probably into personal growth as well as being in the coaching world. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So have you found that, and anybody out there, weigh in, have you found that as you grow as a person, as you heal your own shit, as you so eloquently put it earlier,
Yeah.
um, that you kind of outgrow some of your friends?
That is very true. They either just disappear or no, just go away.
Yeah. And so, that's a hard choice, because it's not that you don't, I mean, in my case, I'll just speak for myself. It's not that I don't love the people that have been previous parts of my life, but it just gets to a point where we don't we don't relate, you know, and it becomes uncomfortable. And so that's a difficult choice to walk away from somebody that you care deeply about, but you have to do it. It
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, it's sad. Sometimes you are not the one changing in your relationship with them. It's them that is changing because they see growth in you and they're like, what's going on? And it's like, you know, right?
There
She,
can be jealousy, and there can be like they look at what you're doing and it removes their excuses for
yeah,
changing,
yeah, yeah, true.
and that makes them scared, and then they are angry. The most recent one though, we really like, he's a good friend, been really good friends for like over 10 years. And honestly, he is still growing as a person, as am I. We're just growing in different directions now. But it's sad. It's sad.
Yes, it is. Very, very sad. Now, diverting to business, what was the hardest choice that you ever made in terms of business?
Oh gosh. Deciding to find deciding to find my own way of selling was really hard. I I'm sorry.
It is very hard. I'm in that stage now, trying to find out how on
Mm,
my on my own. The way
yeah.
my character is, my personality is. So it's like different.
It's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kept investing in these big business courses, which I now believe that almost no one gets good results in. But I was afraid of picking a newer coach. I was afraid of picking my own one-to-one coach. And so I kept investing with these big name people with these big programs. And I didn't like the way they were telling me to sell. I didn't like some of the marketing as well. And
Yeah.
when I would raise my hand and say, I don't feel like this is ethical, they would tell me, they would mindset shame me and tell me, oh, well, that's just your success issues. And so I would go work on my success issues because I try, like, I'm very opinionated, but I try to have an open mind when I'm learning something.
Yeah.
Um, and I would go work on my success issues, money issues. I still wouldn't like their way of selling. I quit the coaching industry like 3 times because I just, if I had to do disgusting things in order to get people to be clients, then I didn't want any part of it. As much as I felt like I was called to be a coach, as much as I felt like um, I know the power of
Mhm.
coaching, but I just didn't want to do it that way. And finally, I was like, okay, you've got to learn to sell if you want to have a business.
Yeah.
And so let's figure out a way that we don't hate. And I actually ended up creating a way that I actually love. And partially because it's just good sales techniques. But a lot of it has to do with the fact that I'm comfortable and confident delivering this type of sales. And it's huge.
Yep. That is very inspiring, and I'm excited to know what it is. I hope our audience uh, also feels the same. So, all right, now Coach Heather's goal is to you know, help quality, high integrity coaches and healers to create ways of selling that they are comfortable and confident in using so that they can thrive in their business and make the impact they are here to make. Now, without feeling gross about sales.
Mhm.
Her goal is also to share her story so that folks like us know that if she can recover from her mile-long tragedy resume, we can too. All right. I wonder what that one is. So we will know more in her bio later. Okay, in her backstory. Okay. Now, her goal is also to have as much fun as possible. I want that too. So busy with business, so busy with life, you don't have time for yourself.
Mm.
So that's a no. All right, now her goal also is to own an eco resort, wow, and learning center
Mhm.
where people can come for personal and spiritual growth retreats and experience luxury sustainable living. These are very awesome goals. Yes. All right, moving on. And so, in the next 5 minutes or less, kindly talk us through how you've started and found success as a sales coach, in addition to what you've already mentioned earlier.
Yeah, so I started off as a general life coach. Then I was a sex coach because I know a lot about sex from the sex industry.
Nice.
And yeah, well, but I didn't know how to market and I didn't know how to sell. And so um, I mentioned that I took a bunch of courses that didn't. I learned stuff, but there wasn't enough support and to actually help me there wasn't enough support for me to implement effectively because
Mhm.
you can implement something, but if you're not doing it correctly, you're not going to get results, right? And if you don't,
True. Yes.
yeah.
It's
And
true.
in any program where you're just learning from a video and then you go do it, if nobody is checking what you're doing, I think this is the reason why a lot of coaches and healers burn out, because they take a course, they go at it, they post like crazy for 6 months and nothing happens. And they're like, I don't understand. I posted. They don't know they're not doing it right. Right. They weren't doing it well. So I actually kind of hated business coaches. And if you had told me, years ago that I was going to be a business coach, I would have laughed at you. But um, when I was working, I had quit. I was working as a chauffeur. I was standing at Hartsfield Airport in Atlanta, like waiting for my fifth C-suite executive to come. And it just hit me. It was like the universe like spoke to me and just said, anything you're doing that isn't coaching, you're wasting your God-given gifts. You're wasting your God-given gifts. And I had started my own like one woman limo company, and I mean, jumped through all the hoops and got my licenses and, my LLC for the limo company and everything. Um, and I was good at it, but it really came to me that I was wasting my gifts. And so that's when I went in search of a coach to help me learn to sell, and ultimately had to create my own. And I thought I was going to go back into like sex coaching or transformational coaching. And, but when I created this way of selling and I started seeing that it would work, I realized that other heart-centered entrepreneurs really needed this, because I think those of us who are in this for what I consider the right reasons, which is to be of service first, closely followed by making great money, you
Mhm.
know, but being of service first and having integrity first, those of us that really feel that way, marketing and sales is harder for us.
True.
Yeah.
That
It,
is so true. Speaking from experience.
yeah. Yeah, it doesn't feel, what the majority of what's taught online just feels really gross.
Yes.
And sometimes, I mean, I tried the gross stuff because I was desperate. I had spent so much money on these business programs that
Of
I was
course.
like, okay, if everybody's teaching this way, maybe this is the way. So, but when I found something that was better and started kind of teaching it to just people I knew, and their eyes
Mhm.
were lighting up, and I was like, oh, wait, I can do sex coaching, transformational coaching, and all that stuff down the road. But right now,
Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
it's okay. Um, right now, I need to, I really, I believe in coaching. I don't know if I said it in my materials, but therapy kept me from jumping off a building. Personal growth made me not want to jump off buildings anymore. And
Mhm.
so I know the power of coaching and healing. And I want to be able to call the people who are in this industry for the right reasons. I want to be able to call them my colleagues. And so I want to do everything I can to empower them to sell in a way that they are comfortable and confident with.
Yeah. And then it is very disheartening when you like when you really want to serve, right? And when you want to serve, you in your business or using your business, you have to really if you want to serve with quality, you have to really invest in your business.
Mhm.
Investing in your business, you need money. So it's like a chicken and egg. And if
Mhm.
there's no money coming in, right, what will you be investing in your business so that you can scale?
Mhm.
Isn't it? So right. So the right way of selling, that would be um, the most important thing that people like us who really want to serve need to learn.
Yes. Well, I mean, marketing is important too. The funny thing was, once I found a way of selling that I felt good about, I actually was able to show up more consistently with my marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Because apparently my big brain was like, why are we marketing? We're not going to be able to sell to them. You suck at sales. You're horrible at it. You hate it. So why market? And when I created my way, all of a sudden it was easy for me to show up. And when people actually showed up, I could actually close them. So it was like, oh, hallelujah.
Right. So that was really inspiring.
Thank you.
Okay. So we are now moving to the second half of our show. Um, for those who just came in, this is Ritz Loreto Rectra, your digital content creator and process automation specialist. We have here Coach Heather Smith, our seasoned sales coach. All right. Don't forget to join our free Facebook group, Talking Business with Ritz, live expert interview, and watch the replay of this episode and previous episodes as well. And subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is I'm going to show right now. Okay, subscribe to my YouTube channel at Ritzel Rectra. Okay, That's that. Okay, now moving on. Let's talk business. Yeah, Coach Heather is here to share with us about the three topics that will help us how to promote and sell our offerings with integrity and attract more clients without compromising our values. So let's start with the first topic. This is actually how to sell your packages without feeling like you're selling your soul. All right, Coach Heather, take it away.
Okay. Does anybody have questions? It's easier for me to talk if there's specific questions.
Okay, let's look at our audience right now. Since there's no question, so yeah,
So why don't we talk about like you've heard people say, oh, sales is sleazy, or you've maybe felt that. Have you ever heard people say sales is service?
no, but sales is sleazy, yes, and I feel sleazy when I sell.
Right. Okay. So the thing is that like you'll hear people speak in absolutes, and say sales is sleazy. No, not all sales is sleazy. And you'll hear some people say sales is service. You're being of service to people because they need what you're selling. It's not necessarily service. It just depends on how you do it, right? And
Yes,
so the sleazy stuff is, and I wrote a book.
online entrepreneur survival guide.
Yeah, it's how to choose the right business coach, or really any coach, and avoid debt and regret so your biz can thrive. And in this, I go into like all the things to kind of watch out for when you're hiring somebody, to find out, like, to kind of see if they're a sleazy person or not. But sleazy sales is like pushy and manipulative, and most of what's taught online is actually manipulation, not sales. And so this is why if you take a course or you get a sales script, you go through a sales training and you don't feel great about it, and so you decide to tweak it so that it's a little more palatable to you, and then you go try it and it doesn't work. And it's you have to I'm a big sci-fi fantasy geek, and so you have to lean into your inner Slytherin or your Sith Jedi in order to in order to make those methods work, right? Um, but sales absolutely can be service. And what sales as service looks like is being a consult, easy for me to say,
Consult.
being a consultant, right? And so sales is manipulative is like you get on the call with a prospect, or you're talking to the DMs or what have you, and your intent is that you are going to close this person no matter what, right? That's easy sales. When you're being of service and you step into kind of a consultant's mindset, your whole purpose is to ask questions and really find out what's going on with this person, and so that you can know whether you're going to pitch or not, you
Uh,
know. And changing that mindset, that allowed me, and I think I'm kind of getting ahead here, that's what allowed me to stop being so nervous on sales calls, when I realized that it wasn't about manipulating them, it wasn't about forcing them, it wasn't about convincing them. It was more about me like asking good questions to figure out if they were even somebody I wanted to work with, if there was
yep.
somebody that I felt like was going to get good results, right? And so if you want to sell without selling out, that's what you have to do. You really have to truly know who you enjoy working with, who gets good results with you, and know how to ask the right questions to figure out if, anybody that's coming into your world, if that's who they are, if that's the kind of person they are. Um, and when you do that, when you sell with integrity and you're really being of service, that person more than likely is going to become a repeat client.
Mm-hmm.
If they're truly a good fit, then they're going to get great results, which means you're going to get great testimonials, which makes your marketing easier, which makes your sales easier. They're going to be so excited, they're not going to shut up talking about you to their friends and family and, coworkers, or, whatever, your niches, and you're going to get referrals, right? So when you sell to the right people, it snowballs and it just empowers your business. When you sell to the wrong people, they don't get great results. They're generally very draining to work with. They're probably not going to be happy. They may start online drama. You're not going to get, I mean, even if they get through it and they're okay with it, like their testimonial is going to be very lackluster. You're not going to get referrals. They may ask for their money back, right? So it's just nothing but bad from manipulative sales. Nothing but good from with sales with integrity. And I'm getting tired, so I'm tripping over my words. I apologize.
It's okay. So there's a question here.
Fuck.
Our, there's a question here. It says, Jeff is asking, how do you attract your ideal client?
Okay. So that is more of a marketing question, but I will tell you what I know. Marketing is not my specialty. Okay. One of the things that is really one of the myths online is that you just post, and if you just create really good content, people are just going to show up and throw money at you. And it's bullshit, y'all. I'm sorry. Like, don't listen to anybody who's talking about pure attraction marketing. It's read my book. I'll tell you all about it. I won't go down that rabbit hole right now. But so posting it and posting good content, is good, right? But what you really need to do is have marketing techniques like freebies and free trainings, free PDFs that get people to self-identify. You want people raising their hands, right? Because an old strategy that used to work, kind of, but doesn't really work anymore, but people are still teaching it, is this friend request 10 people a day, start DM 10 people a day, put everybody's name in a CRM, check back up with them every 2 weeks, and, be friendly in the DMs. And then one day say, so Ritz, how are your sales? Like, ew, it's so fake. You've had that happen, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that strategy used to work well. I know people who built their businesses like that, but it doesn't. People know what you're doing. You're not being friendly. You're just waiting for a time to pitch. So, but if you have a good freebie, or a free training or a challenge, a masterclass, whatever, then those people are interested. If somebody's commenting on your post, unless they specifically say they're interested, a lot of times, like, I comment on a lot of people's stuff just showing support and helping my engagement, engaging so that the algorithm likes me. But if I'm asking for a freebie, then it means that there's something that, caught my attention, and I'm like, oh, I need something, right?
Right.
But the problem is, like, freebies don't always work well. And so a lot of people try them. I've tried them in the past and not had a lot of traction off of them. And the key is you have to keep trying and tweaking until you find one that gets people's attention. And that's the biggest thing with being an entrepreneur. Like, you have to have so much resilience and know that, like, oh, that didn't work. That's okay. Dust myself off, get right back in and try again. But that really is the key to, like, social media marketing, is having people raise their hands and let you know that they're interested.
Yeah, that is true. And Jeff also mentioned that you have to give value.
And giving value in your post and, with your YouTube channel and everything and all that is wonderful. But if you don't have something that has them raise their hand, then it's going to be very difficult to make sales. I've had times where I was super consistent in my marketing and doing all the things, and I was still not making any money because I wasn't getting people to raise their hands.
Okay, I understand. Okay, that is very interesting. I'm gonna think more of what freebie I can get. But that is a double-edged, double-edged sword. You know, when you always give something for free, you're gonna attract people who are mostly freebie seekers, isn't it?
So there's different philosophies, and I don't put anybody in a box, like, because what works for me won't necessarily work for somebody else. The great thing with me is that I have had so many different mentors that I can kind of like curate for people and be like, okay, I see how you are. I see how you want your business to be. This is what these three things are what I think will work. What do you think? I love to tweak. I love to play. Um, but, and I got myself off topic and now I'm like, where'd my brain go? So there are people that are saying if you do freebies all the time, you get freebie hunters.
Yeah.
And there's always going to be people that are freebie hunters, but there are like, I when I do my challenges, right? I hate when I sign up for a challenge and I go and the first day especially is like 30 minutes of their story and all about their client results and 5 minutes of tips that I could have gotten from YouTube and then 20 minutes of pitching. I hate that, right? So when I do trainings, I want to actually give a training. I actually want to give value, but I want to make sure that these are people that are serious about possibly buying from me. And so I make people apply. I make people apply for my free trainings.
Oh, so that's the difference. Make them apply.
Well, that's one strategy. Another thing is that if you know how to do the DMs well, once somebody reaches out to you and says that they're interested in your training or your PDF or whatever, you go talk to them in the DMs. Don't just send them to an email list. Because even if you've got great copy, like that person may never actually opt in and get the freebie, or they might opt in but never actually look at the freebie, or they might look at the freebie and never open another email. I do that a lot. I get
Yeah.
busy and I get the freebie and I look over it and generally never, because I don't know what this person does. Like, they haven't done anything to build a relationship with me. And then I get a bunch of like warm up sequence emails and I never open them. But people who reach out in the DMs and they start a conversation with me and they get to know me and they're asking questions about me, then like I'm much more likely to like get to know them further. But if you just send me to an email list, you know,
Okay. Lesson learned.
well, and then there's people that have built their whole businesses with email. I'm not saying email is bad. I'm just saying that if you will do something to more directly cultivate a relationship with the person instead of just sending them to an email list, you're going to find that they are going to be a much more engaged person on your list. They're much more likely to buy. They're much more likely to actually show up to the free training as opposed to forgetting about it.
Hmm. But not a lot of people are actually welcoming in their DMs, because based from experience, most people are actually fed up with hi, hello, how are you doing, blah blah.
Well, right. But this is because this is like, if you just DM them out of nowhere, but if you're DMing them because they said they were interested in your free training, right?
Hmm.
Then you can go in, hey, Heather, I saw that you signed up for the training. Really excited to, to teach you what are you most wanting to get out of this training, right? And
Right.
then like I'm able to talk to somebody and find out what they need and I can put what they need in the training, right? So now they're much more likely to show up because there's something that I'm specifically putting in there for them, right? And I'm
Right.
showing that I give a fuck, I'm not just like, come bow before me, great sales goddess Heather. I'm like,
I like that.
how I'm like, what do you want to know? And I'll tell people if I don't think my training is right for them. I did that the first time I started running the training like a few months ago. I mean, it's all stuff I've taught before, but I've like revamped it and redone it, made it more accessible and all the things. And people were coming to me and I could tell from their application, I'm like, you don't need sales yet. You need somebody to help you with your marketing because you can learn how to sell, but if you're not generating good leads with your
Hmm.
marketing, then I'm like, don't waste money. Don't waste your time coming to this free training and then hear about my paid program, which isn't going to help you yet. You need to go talk to a copywriter or a marketing coach, and those people are much more likely to come back to me when they get that sorted. And because I didn't try to sell them something they didn't need. I didn't waste their time like, oh yeah, you should come to my free training. No, you don't need my free training right now. You need something else, you know?
Wow. Because most coaches actually learn hard sell, even if the person really doesn't need your whatever you're offering,
Mhm.
because you need your numbers. You need to meet your numbers. You're gonna go for the same.
Right, but the funny thing is, and I think this is kind of leading into the second or third
Yeah,
topic,
yeah.
is that the average close rate for the coaching industry, and I think this is actually from like the International Coaching Federation. So, this is a very like well respected entity given the statistic. The average close rate is about 20%. And when I was trying the sleazy high pressure methods, I was closing maybe 10%. Like I was awful at it. Awful. I was also awful as a leasing agent for apartments. I almost lost my job. I think the only reason I didn't lose my job is because I had breast cancer and they felt sorry for me. But I couldn't sell because I knew the apartments, they were beautiful, but I knew they had issues. Anyway, but 20% close rate for coaches. And when I started doing it my way, I can close like 70% of the people I talk to
Wow.
without being gross. And my clients, whether they're business coaches or spiritual coaches or what have you, average about a 60% close rate. So it's triple what the industry does with those sleazy techniques. And this is, people feel good about it. And the other thing is that the sleazy stuff isn't working as well as it used to because people as consumers are sick of it. They're
Mm,
wise to it, you know?
yeah, it's too much in your face.
So gross.
All right. Okay, we'll go to the next topic. Why? Let me just flash it out. Okay. The power of ethics in sales, boosting conversions to the 3 times. So, why ethical sales practices convert higher than pushy tactics? Okay, Coach Heather, could you expound more about this topic?
Happily, happily. So the manipulative stuff, like, well, one of the big things is that with the manipulative type sales is you'll have mentors that are telling you to get anybody and everybody on a sales call, right?
Mm,
And so you end up wasting a lot of time and exhausting yourself on calls with people who are never going to buy. They're not a good fit. They know they're not a good fit. They don't have the money, they don't have the time, they don't even really they're not really that interested in solving the problem right now, right? But a lot of mentors will have you like trying to sell to everybody. Do not do that. It will burn you out. And
mhm,
if you do accidentally get these wrong fit people in your business, we talked about it earlier, they're going to be draining. They're not going to give you good testimonials. It may start drama online. They may ask for their money back. It's a waste. It's a waste of time, right? To sell to those people. But I've had people, a spiritual coach that came to me and she was probably closing about 10% and she was offering, she was deeply discounting her rates. And she's one of those people that she is always learning and always expanding and always learning new modalities. And she's just amazing. She's one of the most powerful energy healers I've ever had work on me, but she couldn't make sales. And part of it was nobody was teaching her to sell in a way that felt good. And
mhm,
with me, she was able to have a 14K launch when her previous launch had failed, and it was all because a lot of it with her was helping her to convey the value, and so her program was on intuition. And people were like, well, I mean, that would be great to have better intuition, but what I really need is more money or time. And I showed her how we talked about how intuition would actually help people have more money and time. And when she was able to counter with that and talk to them about that, that's when she started making really great sales and she wasn't being pushy or sleazy. So her conversions went from about 10% to like 60%. So I 6 times her conversions.
mhm.
Um, it's just when you're selling from a place of service and you're being a consultant, people can feel the difference in that energy, even if they're muggles, even if they're not woo woo. They can. I see you getting all my sci-fi references, and I'm like, yes,
Muggles.
muggles, right there. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, people can tell if you really give a shit. They can tell if you're talking to them and trying to really suss out are they the right fit, or if you're just like going through the motions and asking them some questions and just like waiting until it's time to pitch. You
Yeah.
know, people can tell, right? And so really being present and asking them good questions. Here's the other thing. If you're you like a lot of mentors give you like a generic script, right? And so everybody's like, if you had a magic wand, what would you want to change in the next 3 months? It's not a bad question, but it's
Yeah.
also just very generic, you know? If you can ask more specific questions, here's another thing, like a lot of people don't want to do discovery calls because they take a long time, but if you are asking really specific questions, then you get better answers and generally shorter answers. You don't have people just talking around in circles. You give them some parameters, you know? And when you ask those good questions, they may not consciously think it, but subconsciously they can tell you're really trying to find somebody who's the right fit. You're not just trying to sell to everybody. So when it comes time to pitch, if you have decided they're a good fit and you decide to pitch, they're going to take your recommendation that they do your program. They're going to take that a lot more seriously than if you're just like ticking off the questions, basic, basic, basic. Okay, here's my program, buy it. You know, and then the way that I teach like objections, so I overcoming objections, that was the most disgusting thing that I was taught in sales. Um, and it's like it's just gaslighting people. It's just completely just brushing all their concerns under the rug and just saying no. It's not that you don't have time. You don't even know this person that well, but you're going to tell them that like, oh, it's not that you don't have time, it's just that you don't believe in yourself. Like,
Okay.
right.
How do you know?
Right, right.
You're just mad.
But that's the common thing. Like one of the things that I heard over and over and over again is that objections are always just limiting beliefs and fears. And the truth is that they're generally a combination of real world circumstances and some kind of fear, right? And
Right.
but how most people teach you to deal with it is to just disregard it and just say, oh, well, if you don't do this, it's because you don't believe in yourself enough. You don't really believe in your dream. You're not. Had one friend, she got on a call with this person. I don't even think it was supposed to be a sales call. I think it was it was supposed to be a connection call, but this person got on and they were running it as a sales call, which is just, it's dumb and gross. Don't do that. And if somebody does that to you, like, call them on it and or just end the call. You do not have to be stuck talking to people. I let somebody keep me on the phone forever one night because I didn't want to be rude. Never mind that she
Yeah.
was being rude. But anyway, she was already making 20K months in her business. Like, she was
Mhm.
very, very diligently investing in her business and working on her business and getting great results.
Yeah.
And this woman pitched to her out of the blue, and she said, I don't think so. And the woman said, oh, so this business is just a hobby then.
Yeah. I got that a lot.
Have you gotten that?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's just it's manipulation. I mean, the truth is, to really get your business going, like, you're going to have to invest, right? It's I know one person who made it as an entrepreneur without ever having a coach. But her father's an entrepreneur, for one thing. And for another thing, like, I worked with this person and the quality of the business coaching wasn't that great. just
Hmm.
just because somebody has, this is something to know, and it's kind of a mind breaker. Just because somebody is successful online doesn't mean they can teach you to be successful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's different. It's a different thing to run a business and to teach.
very, very, very much so. Very, very much so. And so, how did I get on this little tangent? Well, we're talking about addressing
Talking
concerns,
about yeah.
overcoming objections. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I teach people to address concerns. And so you treat whatever they're telling you. If they tell you they don't have any money, you treat that as 100% real. But then you see if they're open to having a conversation, because sometimes I don't have any money means I don't know where my next meal is coming from. Sometimes it literally means I have no money. Sometimes it means I've got $20,000 in savings, but I really don't want to touch that right now. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Right.
you could talk to them about, well, does it make sense to just keep saving that money, or do you want to invest in a business where you can make much more money? And realistically, how much money are you going to make? You have to know how to have those conversations. And when you do that, like especially in an industry where there is so much high pressure and just grossness, then people, like, even if they do have legitimate concerns, like it's not just a fear thing, like they have legitimately just a lot going on, they really don't have the time. They're going
Mm-hmm.
to remember that you didn't push them. They're going to remember that you treated them humanely, right? And
Right.
when they're ready, they're going to come and they're going to work with you, you know.
I have clients who are like, I met them a year ago, and then they come back a year ago. Just yeah. My
Yep.
clients like that. Hey, hey, are you free, or do you accept clients right now? Those are the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why? How can I help you?
Right. And that relationship building, and I built my business in the beginning off of just like the relationship building, and DMing people and getting into conversations. But I ended up in like really long, dumb conversations with people who never bought because I didn't feel comfortable pitching, because I didn't feel the strategy was ethical. Um, but there's ways to warm up people faster, and that, like, using the PDFs and free trainings will help you to convert people faster.
Okay.
Yeah.
I better start converting all my contents into PDFs.
Well, you want to look at like what's a pain point that your clients are very aware of, that you could help them not necessarily solve the whole thing because it's PDF, or it's a 10-minute training, or it's a 2-day training or whatever. But what's something bite sized that you could really help them, like, move the needle on in that
Mm-hmm.
time, that they'd be excited to sign up for. They'd be excited, like, oh my God, that's exactly what I need. You
Yeah.
know. So that's the kind of stuff you want to kind of have your best stuff in your free offers.
Yeah. My my problem is I'm a very technical person,
Hmm.
you know, from a technical background. So,
Hmm.
as a system consultant. So it's like
Oh wow.
it's very hard to attract people or business owners who wants to listen and try what I want to teach. Because then when they sit there, they were like, boring.
Well, and let me say, like, that the strategy I'm talking about, like, my area of expertise in helping people is really like with sales and with lead attraction. As long as you've got good marketing, I can help you attract the leads, and I can do and the sales. And my most of my clients, not all of them, but most of them have been coaches and healers. And so when somebody's a service provider, that is a little bit of a different ball game, especially because people that are at a point that they're going to pay for a VA, they already don't have time. So they don't have time to come to a free training or something. So you do have to kind of tweak, the strategy. You do have to kind of tweak it.
Yeah, and that strategy I haven't found out yet.
Yeah, and unfortunately, like, it's not my area of expertise. So I mean, I could try to give you some pointers, but they wouldn't even be the best pointers, because it's not my thing. But that's one of the things with me, and that's a part of selling ethically, is that I am a sales expert, but that does not mean I know everything. It,
Yes,
it
true.
means that I know more than the average person about selling online. So um so yeah.
All right. So moving on, we are now on transitioning to the third topic: conquer sales anxiety with game-changing mindset for high-ticket client signings. Is the number one sales mindset that stopped your sales anxiety,
Yeah.
and you started signing high-ticket clients. Do you care to share with us what is that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I touched on it earlier, but it's that realizing that I was going in as a consultant. I wasn't going in as a salesperson in the common way, you know.
Mm.
Um, because I would just the day would come, like somebody would sign up for a discovery call and I would be really excited for about 10 minutes and then I would just have cramps in my stomach. Like I would just get so nervous, heart pounding, you know, and the day of I would be secretly wishing that they were going to cancel or flake on me because I hated sales that much. And a lot of it was because the trainings I'd gone to essentially were read this script. These questions are designed for the customer to talk themselves into working with you. Pitch. If that doesn't work, then just disregard all of their objections and just bully them until they buy. That was essentially every sales training I went to. And
Mhm.
I didn't feel good about it. You know, I'm like, this is gross. And so when I got on the sales calls, I wasn't comfortable. I wasn't present because I was so worried about pitching. I was so nervous about pitching. Because really, like, I thought it was something I had to do to make people buy. Like, and I was racking this is this is the thing. Like, I will overthink things and I think about the world. Like, I see the world differently. I've just accepted that at 47 years old. I'm finally like, nope, the world just looks different to me. And I'm just going to have to make peace with that. That what makes sense to me does not make sense to other people. And that's okay. And I just, I was so lost. I just didn't know what I was doing. And the whole time I'm asking questions, I'm like not really present because I'm freaking out because I'm like, it's all this pressure. I've got to say the right thing. It was like I felt like I had to like conjure the right spell to make people buy. And so I wasn't present, you know, and I wasn't really listening. And I didn't really know what to listen for. You know, people are like, oh, just read these questions, but they don't tell you, like, you know, when you're asking somebody, you know, say for me, like, what income level do you want to reach in the next 3 months? Right. So that's not only telling you like what income level they want to meet, it's also telling you how ambitious they are. It's also telling you if they're delusional or right. So every question that you ask, there's a lot of information. And I didn't understand that back then. And once I started to understand that, well, first off, realizing that it wasn't about me convincing the person to buy. It was more about me asking questions and them kind of convincing me to let them hire me. Um, and that's not saying it that way. Like it sounds really arrogant. And there are definitely coaches that, you know, have this attitude that it's a privilege to work with them and that really arrogant stuff. That's not where I'm coming from. But it really is like when I stopped thinking of it as I had to convince them and started thinking of it is as do I want to work with this person? Then I calmed down. Then I could be present. Then I could ask questions and I started noticing like, oh, wait a minute. When I'm asking this question, I'm getting like 3 layers of information. I'm not just getting what they're saying. I'm also, you know, hearing these other things. And, you know, then it got to when I did pitch, I felt really good about it. And because I listened, I know exactly what it is that they're struggling with. And so whatever niche you're in, like there are going to be commonalities, you know, of what your ideal clients are struggling with. But each person, like their main pain point, you might have 5 pain points that you help people with, but each person, like one of those is going to be more painful than the others, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you know how to ask questions and you listen, then when you're pitching, you can specifically address like that pain point and talk about how your program is going to help them turn that around. Right.
Right.
And so your pitching becomes a lot more powerful. People are less likely to object, you know. And then when I finally like understood objections, now I love the objections part of the conversation. Love it because I get it. Um, and the key to that is that have you ever heard anybody talk about like the critter brain or like the reptilian brain?
No.
Okay.
Something about it.
It's our brain stem and it's the first brain that developed and then like the midbrain and it's late so I can't think of all the pretty names, but the last part of the human brain to develop is the cerebellum, and
Mm.
that's what makes us human, right? So the the critter brain, our mammalian, not mammalian, I'm sorry, our reptilian brain, it is only concerned with survival.
Ah,
And
yeah. Mhm.
anything that we've survived, if you guys have ever seen the movie The Croods, about the caveman,
Yes.
the dad, where he's like, oh, and she went and she tried something new and then she died. That's your critter brain. That's the critter brain all day long. And so anything new and different is the critter brain will say no, it could kill us. Even if it's like if it's a bad relationship, you've lived through a bunch of those, the critter brain's like, oh, those are good. We survived those.
Mm-hmm.
The human part of you is like, hey, I think I'd like to have better relationships. I can see all the possibility. I can see how this would be better. And the critter brain will come in and just squash that shit. Like, no, you can't buy that program. We could die. We don't know how to survive good relationships. We know how to survive bad relationships, right? So this is why, like in the first part of the sales conversation, somebody will be so excited to buy and they're talking about all the possibilities. And then you pitch and it's almost like they have a personality change. And it's because you went from talking to the human to the caveman.
Oh, okay.
As soon as you pitch, the caveman is like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I thought we were just bullshitting about wanting to change. You're talking about laying money down for something? No. And again, like that's the psychological part of it. But I mean, there can't also be real world stuff, right? But when you know how to like talk to the caveman, it makes a difference. And it's really fascinating to me because you get to know somebody on a deeper level once you start talking the objections. You get to see kind of at the root of like what's really holding them back. It's fascinating.
Right. Okay, let's acknowledge one of our watcher right now, Maria Marie Ramos. Hi. Thank you
Hi.
for being here. All right. So, again, this is episode 49 of Talking Business with Ritz. Remember to join the Facebook group below, which I'm going to show right now. Let me remove this one first and this one. Okay, so this is the Facebook group that I am asking or asking. I am I am really asking you to join to watch the replay. All right, watch the replay of this episode, which is very, 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 very informative. All right, and pay attention, ladies and gentlemen, as we are now almost at the end of the episode. So, Coach Heather explained about how to sell, right? How to sell. Let me just put that back. Okay, how to sell your package without feeling like you're selling your soul. Okay, and topic two, which is why ethical sales practices convert two times or 2 to 3 times higher than pushy tactics. Okay, and the number one sales mindset that stopped her sales anxiety and let her start signing high ticket clients. Okay, watch the replay if you're not here right now. Okay, so would you like to add more on this topic if you have?
Just essentially like if you are really called to be a coach or healer and you know that you have gifts, you've invested in your training, you're really here to do something good, just know that like there are ways of selling and marketing that will feel good to you, and it may take you a while to find the right person. um, get my book because it goes it's I've never seen guidelines of like how to hire a coach, how to research and hire a coach, and that will tell you no matter what kind of coach it is. It's not just for business coaches. um, but yeah, hey, I see somebody that I know from Facebook groups.
Yeah, this Salma. Hi, Salma. Watch the replay. You talked
Um,
about so many good stuffs.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, we're on a lot of the same Facebook groups and we talk. But yeah, just like you can completely there's a way of selling that will feel good to you. You have to find the right mentor and you know, don't give up. Don't give up. Just keep looking until you find what you need. And I'm sorry, I'm tired, so I'm like,
Right, right. Okay, we're wrapping up. All right. So this is an informative episode. So every guest speaker whom I had invited in this live expert interview is by design. All right. It had helped me with my mindset and had prepared me to move forward. So there are like mind blowing ideas right now that's popping in my head after talking to Coach Heather. So it had inspired me to get better and better in what I do. So my guests are all inspiring and it had helped me to be where I am right now. So this is also what I envisioned for my audience, for you, everybody, so we can all move our business forward to success. All right, going back to Coach Heather, do you have any current offer that you would like to share with our audience? Please kindly invite them.
Sure. I have a program called Sleaze Free Sales that is
Mm-hmm.
for people that you're already making sales, but you want to up your sales conversion so that you're selling more quickly. Um, Obviously, sleaze free. And I'm about to launch a new program that I'm really excited about. It is for new coaches um, who want to get their first 5 clients. And so I'm going to teach you a way of getting your first 5 clients as soon as possible. It's really important if you're a new coach or healer to get your clients to get clients as soon as possible, because if you don't, then you start to question your calling, you start to question the money you've already spent in your training and that kind of stuff, and it gets really really miserable. And so I put together a program to help people get their clients as quickly as possible. So you'll start seeing me post about that like in the next couple of weeks, so I'm really excited about that.
All right. All right. As much as no, no, no. Before that, how would they? If people wants to work with you, where will they contact you? Where can they contact you? How can they connect with you?
Yeah, so you have my website up. I haven't done anything on my website in a while. And so the best place to get me is like to DM me in Facebook. And if you DM me, I'm not going to immediately start trying to sell to you. I'm gonna find out if it even makes sense for us to even talk about you working with me. Um, so yeah, that's the best place to find me. And then on Amazon, like seriously, everybody who's read this book said that it would have saved them thousands upon thousands of dollars. Um, and so the Online Entrepreneur Survival Guide, there's an ebook and then there's this book, and I formatted it really nice. So there's lots of space. It's easy to read and it's easy to like take notes because I really wanted it to be a resource for people.
Yeah. Someone says that sounds awesome. Yay.
So
All right. Now, as much as we want to hang out with Coach Heather, it is time to wrap up. All right, because nighttime. All right, Coach Heather, any last words? Please invite our audience again. Remind them of your latest offer, the how to get your 5 clients.
Sama, it's not on iBooks. Amazon is there. And I haven't expanded it to other platforms. So it's just it's on Kindle, or you can buy it through Amazon right now. Yeah. But yeah, so my current offer, Sleaze Free Sales, that's for people that are already making high ticket sales and they just want to be able to convert people faster, or they're converting but they don't like the way they're converting. Um,
Uh-huh.
and Simple Sales Simplified is going to be for new entrepreneurs, new coaches, and healers who want to make their first 5 sales quickly and without being sleazy. So, yeah, I'm really excited. And then those are courses that have one-to-one calls, and then there's just being a one-to-one client, which you get more calls, and you get access to all the trainings too. So it's a double whammy.
Yeah. Wait, wait. Where are we now? Okay. All right. Thank you very much for this opportunity to be with us tonight. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Heather Smith.
Oh
I know
my
you're gonna laugh.
God. I love the production value of this is just fabulous. This is really well done.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Hours and hours to to actually
Yeah.
test the dry run the whole setup. Okay, stay tuned everyone next week for another episode of Talking Business with Ritz, where we share value bombs to help you get closer to success. Okay, and make sure to check out Coach Heather's Facebook. Okay, you connect with her by DM and get a hold of her. Check out her course to get your 5 clients sign up faster.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for watching with us. This is Fritzel, Loretta Rectra, and Coach Heather Smith.
Thank
Stay safe.
you. Thanks for
All
everybody
right.
who watched. Bye.
All right. Stay safe and healthy. See you in the next episode of Talking Business with Ritz live expert interview. Don't go away. Don't go away yet. Okay, I'm gonna do my outro.